Anyway, our first guest is best known for her role on TV's Maude and films like Escape from New York, also Creepshow, and she first came to fame in the original Broadway production of Grease. Well, she's back on stage here in Los Angeles again in a show that's a little bit different. Let us welcome Adrienne Barbeau, who is in a play called Women Behind Bars.
Yes, actually, Margie was with us on stage.
Margie.
You think it was the boys, but we did that.
You can get Margie to put in your cell.
Oh, she wouldn't last 20 minutes.
She's much too hip for Women Behind Bars. Be a big fight going. Wait, that sounds like a real strange play.
Well, strange is not quite the word. Maybe raunchy would be a better word.
Is it really?
Actually, Women Behind Bars was written by Tom Ian, who wrote Dreamgirls. One has nothing to do with the other.
Oh, hardly.
It's a parody of all of the women prison movies, the B movies that were made in the 50s, like Caged and Caged Heat and Women in Cages and...
Cages over women.
Yes. And it's an outrageous comedy.
So it's just a big spoof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, a parody. We opened about 8 weeks ago in a small theater here in Los Angeles, and it's been such a success that we're moving to the Roxy, which is quite unusual, the Roxy being a rock and roll theater.
That's right, and here in Los Angeles is a big rock and roll theater, and they have never done plays in there before?
They had the Rocky Horror Picture Show there.
As a play?
As a play.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure that's right.
There it was a play.
It was, that's the only other stage performance thing that's been there, and it was a huge success as well, so we'll see what happens.
What attracted you to this?
She's a fascinating character.
Are you one of the women behind the bar?
Yes, yes. I'm the nastiest woman behind bars, who sort of runs the jail when the matron's not around. I'm probably supplying everything with recreational drugs and things like
everything
that.
Necessary for women behind
I take
bars.
care of everybody else. And a sweet young thing is thrown into jail. She's framed. And
she ends up looking like the bar.
That's right. She does. And I sort of take her under my wing. And to tell you any more than that would be almost impossible.
But it's not, I mean, it's just it's a whole comedy then.
Yes, it is. It's really, it's very funny. If you want to look at it on other levels, I think that Mr. Ian is saying things about society, men and women. We have nudity on stage, but it's not any of the women. So that's sort of a reversal. It's about time we saw a good-looking male on stage.
Well, how do they fit into the act?
Well, you'd have to see it, believe me. He actually plays 4 different roles.
It's the same guy?
Yes.
Well, but he doesn't have many costume changes.
No, that's true.
It's not that bad.
Kept the budget down.
Yeah, are you going to make it into a film?
They're talking about it. We'll wait and see. It played in London for a year on stage. It was a huge success there, and had its New York debut about 1975. It was a big underground success
with
at that time.
Person by the name of Divine.
Divine, yes, an Andy Warhol star originally.
Which was in the role you have?
No,
you know?
No. Divine played the matron. We're arch enemies, the matron and my character.
I was going to ask you if your fans from the Maude show were kind of surprised to see you in a thing like this, or do you think you have such a totally different audience going to this that it really doesn't matter?
I had someone come to see the show who I knew vaguely, who sent me a letter afterwards and said it was almost impossible for me to understand that that was you playing that part because it's so far away, and she's quite far away from Carol. If anything, she's probably most like the character I did in Creepshow, who was sort of an unmitigating shrew.
Was that the George Romero film?
Yes. Yeah. You asked me why I'm doing it. Well, it's the first thing that came along that I really responded to, and I suppose maybe because it is so far afield from me, it gives me a chance to express all those things that I never get to express around the house for fear of ending up in jail myself.
And also, the character that you played on Maude for so many years sort of gets you into one role where everybody expects you.
Yes, she was very straight, and although she was strong, I suppose the unifying factor in all the characters I play is strength. This lady is strong. This woman behind bars.
For that situation. Gregory Harrison is the producer of it, the guy from Trapper John.
Yes, he is a partner in the production company, Gregory Harrison, Andrew Stevens. and Franklin Levy. The other men are behind-the-scenes producers. But Gregory's company has done several projects here in Los Angeles which have gone on to become larger stage pieces or else cable pieces.
Your husband, John Carpenter, also is involved in this business.
Yeah.
Is he working on anything new that might involve you?
Well, we have one project that I optioned that I have persuaded him to direct. I'm trying to get him to take a cut in salary, but that's not working. So that's our own production company. That's a feature that will be happening whenever.
Your own husband won't cut his salary?
I wanted him to take a deferment, but he wouldn't hear of it. Right now he's doing a film called Christine, based on the Stephen King bestseller. And unfortunately, they're all teenagers, so it was one we didn't work on.
So you're not.
The last one was all men, and this one's all teenagers.
Does he like working with you?
He loves it. Oh. He loves it. He better.
Would this show go on the road? The one you're in now?
They are talking about a San Francisco company, and after that, I don't know. But they would be separate companies. We have an indefinite run here in Los Angeles, depending upon the success of the play.
At the Roxy?
Yeah.
It'll stay at the Roxy for a while. Now, what about going back to television? Would you want to do that again? Primetime TV?
It depends on the project. I had one project offered me while we were in rehearsals, and I felt committed to this, so I had to turn it down. I wouldn't want to do another series, a situation comedy, an action-adventure series, TV movies.
Yeah. You've done some TV movies.
Yeah, a lot of them. At one point, when I left Maude, and I had done a lot of miniseries and things like that, but I wanted to do features. People at that time, performers were not making the transition from film to features. If you did TV, they didn't want to know about you for movies. So I made the decision to just turn down all television work. Now, there's a lot more back and forth, and because there are fewer movies being made, you see a lot of film people back in television.
Well, we'll see you at the Roxy.
I hope so.
And Women Behind Bars.
Yeah.
We'll look for the Margie doll somewhere in the background there. Thank you, Adrienne.
Thank you.
It's nice meeting you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and be with Kim Miori from St. Elsewhere.